And we're back. Let's talk about Donald Trump's latest move. A massive 50% tariff on all goods from India, announced in true Trump fashion, on Truth Social, with plenty of bluster. His justification? India was getting rich off Russian oil and not doing enough about Ukraine. The response from India was swift and fierce. The government called the tariffs unfair and unreasonable, a diplomatic way of saying, "Are you serious?" This wasn't just another trade spat. It was a direct challenge to one of the world's fastest-growing economies. Trump seemed to think tariffs would force India to cave. But tariffs are a tax, paid by American consumers and businesses. It's like trying to punish your neighbor by burning your own lawn. Instead of backing down, India united in anger. The move sparked a wave of economic nationalism. The US president expected India to flinch. Instead, he ignited a firestorm that threatened America's biggest brands in a crucial market. The stage was set, a president who loves tariffs versus a nation that refuses to be bullied. The initial shock quickly turned into a national rallying cry in India. Trump's gamble wasn't just risky, it was about to backfire in ways no one expected. The world watched as two giants prepared for an economic showdown. This wasn't just about trade, it was about pride, power, and who would blink first. The game was on, and the consequences would be felt far beyond angry tweets and press releases. Trump's tariffs didn't just anger Indian officials, they enraged the public. Almost overnight, #BoycottUSA trended everywhere. American brands were suddenly the enemy. Leading the charge was Baba Ramdev, a yoga guru and business mogul, who called for a total boycott of US products, Pepsi, Coke, McDonald's, you name it. His call wasn't ignored. Influencers, community leaders, and millions of ordinary Indians joined in, sharing lists of American products to avoid. The message: if the US hurts India's economy, Indian consumers will hit back at American corporations. This was economic warfare, fought in shops and restaurants, not just in government offices. The boycott became a patriotic act. Choosing local brands was now a stand for India. The movement was personal. The tariffs felt like a national insult, and the response was swift. American companies found themselves in the crosshairs of a massive, organized backlash. The power of the Indian consumer was being unleashed. The boycott wasn't just a protest, it was a movement. And it was about to cost American brands dearly. The world's biggest companies were suddenly on the defensive. While the boycott spread, Tamil Nadu took things up a notch. The Tamil Nadu Hotel Owners Association, representing over 100,000 establishments, voted to ban all PepsiCo and Coca-Cola products. This wasn't a suggestion, it was a coordinated statewide boycott. The ban included everything from sodas to bottled water, and local brands like Coca-Cola rushed in to fill the gap. The association's president made it clear, this was payback for the US tariffs. The move sent shockwaves through the corporate world. This was no longer just online outrage, this was real, organized action. Pepsi and Coke faced millions in lost sales, their distribution networks suddenly useless in a state bigger than many countries. The boycott was now a business reality, not just a hashtag. Other business groups across India took notice. American brands were being punished for political decisions made far away. The Cola war had begun, and the American giants were losing ground fast. The message: India could hit back, and hard. The boycott got a boost from the top. Prime Minister Modi urged citizens to embrace Swadeshi, buying Indian-made products as a patriotic duty. He didn't name American brands, but the message was clear: support local, reject foreign. The call fit perfectly with Modi's Vocal for Local campaign, turning the boycott into a national mission. Politicians across party lines joined in, warning the US that a boycott by 1.4 billion Indians would hurt America more than tariffs would hurt India. The movement now had official backing, uniting the country across political divides. Buying Indian became a symbol of resistance and pride. The Swadeshi spirit was back, and American brands were the target. The campaign was no longer just a protest, it was a national project. For Coke and Pepsi, India is the ultimate prize, 1 billion-plus consumers and a booming middle class. Both companies have invested billions, building vast networks and deep roots in the Indian market. The beverage market is huge and growing fast. Losing ground here isn't just a setback, it's a disaster. In 2024, PepsiCo India made about $1 billion in revenue. Coke's reach is even bigger, with products in millions of shops. The boycott, especially in Tamil Nadu, threatens all of that. It's not just lost sales, it's long-term damage to their brand image. Decades of marketing as brands that bring joy are now overshadowed by being seen as symbols of foreign aggression. Rebuilding trust could take years and cost a fortune. Other American giants like McDonald's are watching nervously. Multinationals are powerless in this trade war, caught in the crossfire, paying the price for political decisions they can't control. Executives in the US are realizing their billion-dollar Indian dream is at risk. The tariffs were meant to punish India, but the first casualties are America's own corporate champions. The stakes couldn't be higher. While American companies worried about profits, Indian exporters faced a crisis of survival. The 50% tariff was a wrecking ball for small and medium businesses that rely on the US market. Take Tirupur, India's garment hub. Suddenly, their exports to the US became unaffordable, with orders cancelled and factories idled. The same story played out in leather goods and other sectors. Margins were wiped out overnight. Competing with countries like Bangladesh and Vietnam, who faced lower tariffs, became impossible. Years of building relationships with US buyers were undone in a single stroke. Desperate exporters pleaded for government help, emergency relief, subsidies, anything to survive. They were the real victims, caught between US tariffs and a domestic boycott that didn't solve their immediate crisis. The human cost was staggering. Jobs lost, debts mounting, dreams shattered. The trade war wasn't just headlines, it was a daily struggle for survival. Political posturing had real, painful consequences. The exporter's agony was a stark reminder of who pays the price. The fallout was just beginning. The tariffs and boycotts have pushed US-India relations to the brink. What was once a strategic partnership is now a bitter feud, with open letters and public outrage replacing diplomacy. India is asserting itself as an equal, not a junior partner. The ripple effects are global, other countries are watching, and some are rethinking their ties to the US. For India, this could mean closer ties with Europe, Russia and Asia, accelerating a shift to a more multipolar world. If the Trump administration doubles down, boycotts could spread, crippling US multinationals in India. Companies may have to rethink their investments, something unimaginable just months ago. The damage to business and diplomacy could last a generation. This crisis is a lesson in how interconnected and fragile the global economy really is. The future depends on whether dialogue can replace discord. As of September 4, 2025, the world is watching and the stakes have never been higher.